I used to sell seafood in the morning market, fresh octopus, oysters, shrimp, abalone. My hands were always slick with brine, my nails cracked from prying open shells. Business used to be steady, but that changed when the vendor next to me started slashing prices, dirt cheap, desperate deals to lure in anyone. Soon, no one came to my stall anymore. By the end of each day, the ice would melt into bloody water, and the seafood sat there, unwanted, dying slow. Rent was due. My pantry was nearly empty. Even my old rice cooker gave up on me. One evening, as I sat on an overturned crate scrolling through my cracked phone, I stumbled across an online contest. A MUKBANG challenge, raw seafood only. Whoever got the most views would win a cash prize. I stared at my unsold octopus, still twitching slightly. The rules said live seafood brought the best engagement. The viewers were drawn to the drama, the visceral thrill, the rawness of it all, the grotesque spectacle that unfolded on their screens. And while it all felt absurd and ridiculous to me, I knew deep down that I had nothing left to lose. That night, I set up a small ring light I bought years ago. I sat in my cramped kitchen with a tray of writhing tentacles and hit record. The first bite was the hardest. The suction cups clung to my tongue, slapping against my lips like they were alive. They were. I chewed quickly, swallowing down my revulsion. My throat itched, my lips tingled. Still, I finished the tray, edited the footage, and uploaded it. By morning, the video had exploded. 1 million views, then 2, then 5. My inbox flooded with comments. King of Octopus. Look at the size of those tentacles. What a legend. I checked the prize page. I had won. But more than that, the algorithm kept feeding my video to hungry eyes. And hungry eyes paid. Viewers begged for more. Try abalone next. Eat 5 oysters at once. Do a challenge, an hour of raw octopus. So I listened. Every night, whatever didn't sell, I ate. Squirming shrimp, slippery mussels, thick slices of raw tuna that bled onto my chin. The worse it looked, the more they loved it. Money rolled in. At first, I used it to fix the rice cooker, restock my kitchen. Then, I stopped selling seafood altogether. Why sell it for pennies when I could eat it for thousands? But something started to change. After each video, I felt wrong. My stomach clenched in waves. My skin broke out in hives, crawling with heat. At first, I blamed it on freshness. I told myself the seafood had just sat too long. I bought antihistamines and carried on. But one morning, I noticed something on my arm. A tiny lump just below the skin, soft and round, like a bubble. Over the week, more appeared. On my wrists between my fingers. They pulsed sometimes, subtly, disturbingly, almost as if they were alive. I ignored it. I had followers to feed, but it got worse. After each meal, the heat rushed to my face. My lips swelled unbearably, and the itching crept beneath my skin like something alive, constant and cruel. Still, the views were too good. I couldn't stop. My latest challenge was 3 kilograms of raw tiger shrimp. I managed maybe half before I had to stop and throw up. I scrubbed my face, cut out the scene, and uploaded anyway. This time, the response was lukewarm. Then the comments came. Cut video? Fake mukbang? He's not even chewing anymore. If you're real, do it live. Let's see it happen raw and unedited. One comment hit harder than the rest. Go live at the market. Eat there. If you do it for real. I'll donate double. My stomach churned, not out of fear, but from a deeper hunger. A hunger that wasn't mine. Something darker. Something growing inside me. Still, I agreed. The next morning, I returned to the market, not as a seller, but as a performer. I set up a folding table piled high with seafood. I returned to the very stall where I once bled my hands, cracking shells and chasing sales. Now, it hosted my return as something else entirely. A crowd gathered fast, phones up, streaming live. I smiled at the camera, lifted a massive octopus, and bit in. I forced myself to chew, swallowing the writhing mass with an effort that turned my stomach. And as I reached for another bite, the sound of applause erupted around me, eager and unrelenting. I reached for another tentacle, but the moment I bit down, my throat refused it. I gagged, then dropped to my knees. My vision blurred, and my chest heaved with a rising, uncontrollable panic. Then I felt them, dozens of them bursting under my skin. The lumps on my arms rippled. Something writhed inside them. I screamed. The skin peeled off in strips. Beneath, rows of suckers glistened like birthmarks, twitching as if tasting the air. My fingers twitched involuntarily, curling into themselves as spasms shot through them like electric pulses, each one sharper and more foreign than the last. The tips of my fingers split open, and from within, something dark and glistening began to slither out. The crowd gasped, then scattered in shrieking chaos. My stomach swelled, round and tight like a drum. Inside, something began to move. It kicked, it spun, it twisted restlessly. Then came the tearing. My shirt split open. Then something burst through the taut skin of my abdomen, wet and glistening, slick with a purplish sheen. It revealed tentacles, longer and stronger than anything I had ever seen or dared to swallow. I passed out to the sound of ambulance sirens. The smell of brine and bile thick in my nose. They took me to the hospital, or so I was told. I can't eat anymore. Not because I'm sick, because they are. And they are always hungry.
Patient Kim is suffering from severe poisoning. According to the test results, the toxin originated from the luminous octopuses. It's possible they were contaminated by some form of mutation.
We'll investigate the source of the toxin